Discussing the top tracks from the artists we love. Top 5s with Kxvu.
What's happening, people? We're back here once again on CubCamTV for this something slightly different today as we jump into another episode of Top 5s. Now, I realised the other day that I've been doing no Christmas content whatsoever. No Christmas specials, no Christmas sort of music-based things, whatever, nothing. And I realised, you know what, the best thing we could do would be to do a Christmas edition of Top 5s. But not any old Christmas song Top 5s, no. We're going to be doing the Top 5 Reggae Christmas tracks. Now, I'm assuming a lot of people will hear the term Christmas songs and reggae songs and go, how on earth does that work? However, over the years, there has been a fantastic selection of reggae artists bringing together Christmas songs and reggae styles in covers, original creations, and loads more. And today we're going to be checking out a number of different tracks from that list. In the spirit of Christmas, however, we're not going to be doing these as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 list. We're simply going to list the overall top 5 of these, in my opinion. So, first of all, we're going to get into this one from BRRINGTON, LEVY. It goes by the name of I Saw Mummy Kiss a Dreadlock. Now, obviously, this is a recreation and a bit of a play on I Saw Mummy Kissing Santa, which is obviously a bit of a controversial tune, but everyone still seems to enjoy it regardless. And just the way on this one that BRRINGTON LEVY is able to use and vocalise those tones of his voice, which are so recognisable around the world of music beyond reggae, to bring together this tune with a classic-sounding dub-wise backing. It just works on all levels, and that's why this is the first entry on today's top 5 listing. So, moving on to the second track on today's listing, we're going to dive into a bit more of the production of reggae music and why I feel this list is actually quite interesting. When you look at a lot of the melodies and general instrumentation around a lot of Christmas music, everything in general tends to be quite upbeat. You've got ascending melodies all over the place and a lot of elements that are actually quite synonymous with the sounds of reggae music, and this second track is a perfect example of that. Introducing Bigger Irie with Gather Round the Christmas Tree. This is a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier, that fusion of Christmas sounds and reggae sounds working perfectly together. This is, of course, a classic recreation of Walking Around the Christmas Tree in the way it's been put together. But if you listen to the shakers, you listen to the bells, you listen to the general instrumentation and the melodies, it'd be quite interesting to hear how this would sound without the Christmas-based lyricism, because to me, it sounds like a classic reggae tune regardless. That's why this is the next addition to today's listing.
Give a little love on Christmas Day, spread a little joy along the way.
On to the third edition on today's list, we're going to be jumping into the incredible vocals, the legendary sounds of the one and only Freddie McGregor. Now, for me, this tune is another perfect example of that idea of marrying Christmas ideas with reggae themes, and it works really, really well, especially on this one. Despite the fact there aren't that many classic reggae themes on this, it's a much more stripped back, dub-wise kind of track in regards to the fact there aren't that many chord progressions. This is a tune that's all about the drums and bass, and then those additional Christmassy elements that are added over the top. It goes by the name of Every Day is Christmas Day, and once again we do get to hear the fabulous sounds of Freddie McGregor expressing those vocal tones. Again, one of the most recognisable voices in the history of reggae and an absolute legend in his own right. This is a perfect addition to today's list. So for the fourth edition on today's listing, we're going to be getting into a track from two old school legends, Jacob Miller and Ray I. Now, these are two names that are very much names from the archive. They've had some incredible hits over the years, but I feel this may be a tune that actually goes under the radar for a lot of people. It is a recreation of We Wish You a Merry Christmas, but the way it's been done is absolutely amazing. It's a perfect amalgamation of those ideas of reggae music being synonymous with a lot of the actual instrumentation of that. It's a perfect addition to this list, purely because it is synonymous with the idea that Christmas music in its instrumentation really isn't that far from a lot of reggae music we know and love, and this is a perfect example of it. Obviously, we hear some of that classic reggae style reworking of lyricism into a much more typical reggae layout, and as well as that, of course, we get to hear the instrumentation switch around and we hear different elements over different sounds. It's a genuinely fantastic recreation and probably one of my personal favourites on this list.
Great tidings not yet bring you, and a dance all New Year. We
And for the fifth and final addition onto today's listings, we're going to be getting into this one. The fabulous sounds of CARLENE Davis with Santa Claus, Do You Ever Come to the Ghetto. Now for me, this is probably the most memorable track on this listings. It's the one which has the most individual value. It's the one that has the most uniquely sounding arrangement. And for me, as far as I'm aware, it's the most recognizable overall. There are a lot of Christmas elements involved in this one, but to hear CARLENE Davis's voice really stand out strongly on this one, with that much more dub-wise interpreted instrumentation behind it, really gives it that extra push. It's a fantastic addition to any Christmas playlist, and to be honest with you, I'd be really hoping that you do go and listen to these tracks on your Christmas playlist. Sneak them in when you're at your family dinners if you're able to do that. And of course, with Christmas being a little bit different this year, why not throw a couple of extra different elements onto the table? So that's it, the fifth and final addition to today's listings. CARLENE Davis with Santa Claus, Do You Ever Come to the Ghetto?
Santa Claus, when will you come to the ghetto?
And that's it from me. So thank you everyone for getting involved in this listing. I really enjoyed putting this one together. Something a little bit different from what we normally do on the channel, but you know what? I thought it'd definitely be worth doing, seeing as we haven't done any Christmas content whatsoever. And of course, it gives me a chance to thank each and every one of you for the growth of the channel this year. It's been absolutely crazy, and to see how many of you are now supporting the videos, supporting the channel in general, how many subscribers we've been able to amass, and how many views we've been able to amass. It's absolutely amazing, and it's all down to you guys. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a good Christmas period, of course. Hopefully it's not too disruptive where you are, and we can all still enjoy it for what it is, although I do understand it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people this year. So my thoughts go out to each and every one of you not having the best of times right about now. We will still be posting over the Christmas period, as I'm not back into work until January the 25th, when you can catch me back on the radio. So there's going to be loads more content coming over the next few days and weeks. So do stick around. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button at the bottom of the page, and of course turning notifications on. Leave a like and a comment, and of course let us know your top 5 Christmas reggae songs. I'd really like to hear your list. This is a subject I'm really interested in diving further into. Hopefully you enjoyed this list as well, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.
Discussing the top tracks from the artists we love. Top 5s with Kxvu.